on Newsline Live this morning, we have got the man in charge of the entire process to spread the spread of coronavirus 19, COVID-19. He's right here with us, Lieutenant General Shauketaly Silva, who is also the Chief of Defence Services, and he is also obviously the commander of the Sri Lanka Army. Very good morning to you, Lieutenant General Shauketaly Silva. Delighted to have you on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Nice.
Thank you very much. I know it's very busy for you and so on, so thank you very much. But you know, we're looking at the figures, the global figures, 789,229. Last morning, when I was doing the show, at around the same time, at 6:54, it was 726,000. So it's you know, about 60,000 more now. And the unfortunate deceased figures, last morning was 34,025. This morning it's 37,000, so still more. And likewise, the number of people cured was 156,000 last morning, and it's 165,000 this morning. But in Sri Lanka, 122 confirmed cases, 14 have recovered, and 2 have sadly died. Are you happy, or are you content that we're doing what we can, or is there more improvement?
Yeah, we are happy. We are happy for what we are today.
Yeah.
You have to understand that we being a small country with a small economy,
yeah,
but still we have to like compare with other nations,
yeah,
because this is a global thing and no boundaries, and it is only the way how handle,
yeah,
the way how he handles, how the people behave will give these figures in other countries,
right,
versus our country. So we have run from, forget about the Wuhan, from the second time we started off, this task force was established by His Excellency the President on the 26th of January with the Prime Minister,
yeah,
and some key figures that he wanted in that task force.
yeah.
Then we came to Wuhan. Wuhan was where 33 students were brought to Sri Lanka,
yeah,
and we have managed that well.
Yeah.
Thereafter there was a lull, but still the task was working to ensure that how we are going to face in Sri Lanka. But around 6, when people started coming to Sri Lanka, and this was going especially in Italy, Korea, where Sri Lankans wanted to come back, then like the second stage of this operation commenced in Sri Lanka. So this is how we started. The government announced that we should establish quarantine centers in Sri Lanka, and government announced that 3 countries initially, Iran, Italy and South Korea. Anyone coming from these countries, irrespective of a foreigner or Sri Lankan,
yeah,
will be quarantined. So from there we started off. So as at today, your question was, are we happy? Yes, we are happy, because the government, His Excellency the President and the Prime Minister they had a strategy.
Yeah.
The strategy was to containment, prevent the spreading,
yeah,
that is why we are there.
Yeah.
A center was created, then to ensure that we look after those who get affected.
Right.
So containment was done. Spreading is the one we are now dealing with. So 122 after many days, and only 2 deaths.
Right.
So all these 3 we have done so far well.
Right.
But yes, we have to go.
Is there a lot more work to be done?
Yeah, I think as far as the government and the missionaries, all the institutions who are involved in this operation, they all have done what they should do.
Right.
It is now in the hands of the people of this nation. Why I say the people of this nation? We have a mechanism,
yeah,
to prevent. Now if I take example, by quarantine centers, establishing quarantine centers,
yeah,
I could say that from 2 to we went up to 48 quarantine centers.
Right.
Okay. Now,
You have 48 quarantine
yes,
centers.
48 quarantine centers.
What kind of capacity are we talking about?
Starting from like 30 to 40, even up to 1,000.
Oh, right.
Okay, Punani went up to 1,000.
Right.
Kandakad went up to 1,000.
Right.
So it's massive. So we had all this. So the most important thing here is at quarantine centers.
Yeah.
Now we had more than 3,600 at quarantine centers, but only 33 who came with fever and this coronavirus were immediately taken out and sent, and they were confirmed.
Right.
Not a single spread
Right.
within the quarantine center. That is the success of us.
Right.
Because we established a quarantine center at that time. Some people said, look, the way that we have put in quarantine centers, there will be 200, 300 cases per day. That is what some people said at the beginning.
Yeah.
But we were silent. We knew what we were doing. The Triforces doctors were basically, majority was the army, like out of 48, 3 by the Air Force, 1 by the Navy, but balance 44 by the Sri Lanka Army. So our doctors, initially we started off with the Army and went to Navy and Air Force also. But our doctors managed it so well with the support of the Health Ministry guidance. But the most important thing is not a single spread within the quarantine center.
That's remarkable. How did you achieve that?
That is because we had all good practices. Best practices were done there. Okay, we followed the best practices.
Right.
One thing is the doctors were good, the staff was good, although like military, but military doctors are really great. So they did a great job. We did a research before we started off as to how we are going to deal this. So when they said like 1 meter apart the bed, they said so close. Some people said, even put pictures and said, oh, they will get 200 feet because they are so close. No, we knew exactly.
You knew what you were doing.
We knew what we were doing. We will never do without knowing what we are doing.
Right.
We are military people.
Right.
We know where we are, where we want to go.
Right.
And we do things like that with a strategy. So military is all about strategy. So we knew what we are doing. We did with a strategy, and that is why as of today, we have found that not a single spread within the quarantine, and this is a record, I believe.
So this is what explains how we see on the news that 200 people have been released, 300 people have been released, big numbers.
Yes.
And this is all coming from these quarantine centers.
Yes, of course. Even today, we will be releasing 315 from Bavdia and from Punani.
Right.
So they are in good health. They never got the virus. And only thing we have told them, even when they get into the society, that they should remain for another 14 days. Because you see,
their homes.
Yeah, at their residences or the self or home quarantine to be done that, because some people fear that okay, they came from quarantine centers, but that is guaranteed that they are all right.
Now, I know that when you identify somebody and if they are doing self-quarantining at home, I know that you are, there is like a notification that's put on the property. Now, when people are returning from quarantine and coming back home, will those houses also have such a notification?
Of course not, because they have finished 14 days.
Right.
According to the medical professionals, they say 14 days is the most important thing.
Right.
So they have passed that, but for own good, and also for the good of the people, to ensure that they are all right, that is being done. But these people, what you mentioned, that the poster being pasted on the walls, that is from the day 1 to 14 that we are referring. So yes, of course we have done like that. Honestly, those who are the medical professionals whom they felt that they should be self-quarantine. And also you get a different crowd also. We had actually those who came from abroad during the 1st of March up to the certain dates when we announced this, we told all to get registered, and thereafter we told them to be self or house quarantine. So we did that. And in the meantime, there's another group. There is the group that who have associated those infected people.
Right.
Primarily, secondary or like that.
Right.
So they also have been put on house quarantine.
Right.
For that, yes, that label will be pasted there.
I see. And then we have several questions. And by the way, as usual on Newsline Live, we invite you to send us your questions by SMS only, please, to 0772 300 305. I believe our control room will have it on the screen there, 0772 300 305. And yes, one of the first questions is, well spotted, the tea set isn't on the set. The commander is here to answer lots of questions, and we can do without that. There's some problem about that. But now then, lots of questions about what about medicines? Now that you have this the quarantine going on, and we understand the quarantine is to stop the spread, to contain it. What about medicines? How are people going to get their medicines? The pharmacies are closed.
Yeah, of course. These are, of course, there is no medicine for corona, you know that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for other people, you are referring to the public.
The public who've got diabetes, who've got a heart illness, whatever, who need regular medication.
Yes, of course. Now you see, President established a presidential task force under Honorable Basil Rajapaksa, who will control the essential items. So that is mainly for that. I am actually on the prevention of and the spreading of corona, the COVID-19. So this presidential task force is just established few days back. So they actually not only for medicine, even for food supply. So they look after. So Honorable Basil Rajapaksa established this and has given certain instructions. We are well aware. So you asked the question about medicine. Now there are two types of categories as far as the medicine is concerned. One thing is about the people who get medicine regularly from the government hospitals.
Yes, from the state hospitals.
State hospitals, yes. So for them, now the practice going to be, they know every hospital, they have a card for each and every individual. So we have got these cards. Director General Health Services is in charge. It's not my, honestly, since you asked the question, I am aware of this. These cards already they have announced over the media to ensure that if they have any difference of the addresses that are being indicated in this card, to inform immediately. That is the only way we will miss. Otherwise, this card has got the address, the name, everything, and the medicine. So hospitals will packet this medicine and give it to the postal department, where the postman, you know, every postman knows each and every house in this country. So therefore, this organization, the task force have given instructions to coordinate the health authorities versus the postal department, where this postman will take this medicine and give it to the people concerned inside their houses.
So that's the people who are getting their medication from the state
hospital. The balance, the second lot, I said that is two types. The other lot is supposed to be who is getting from medicine from the pharmacies. So also other government establishments. So for them, what they have done is that we have requested to send by a SMS, WhatsApp or things like that, their prescription
to the pharmacy.
The pharmacies around the country, this entire organization was brought to the task force, the heads, and they were given instructions. Each and every city has, they know exactly what number of pharmacies are in that particular township. So not all the pharmacies, those who have the capacity of delivering to their one individual's residence, been given the task of opening those pharmacies, keep that pharmacy open and send this medicine to the patient concerned. So that is the system that they have adopted. But I know when you ask this question, as of today there may be shortages here and there. That is why I'm sure that you are asking. This was established only 2 days back. We believe that within next 72 hours or 96 hours, within 3 to 4 days, this it will be in place. One must understand, we have never had such practices in this country.
This is an exceptional circumstance.
Yeah, of course, and the history, for the first time, I think we are trying. So this is like on the job type of a training or system that we are trying to adopt.
Yeah.
While a system is being established, while the system is being practiced, we are trying to see where we go wrong, and we are trying to do that. And history first time we are doing, so we believe, yes, we have started off this, but there may be lots of shortcomings here and there, but still we believe that we can do it. We can do it. In the meantime, they are told, the government have told to open all pharmacies like that and keep in case there are issues. But in the meantime, you know that except for very few places, townships, majority of the towns were open even yesterday.
Indeed.
Curfew were lifted for a few hours. That is specially for these type of things, at least to buy the essential thing.
Right.
You are talking about the medicine. In the meantime, even the food. There are lorries and there are methods of home delivery system.
Yes, I went on the streets and I saw that was happening.
Yeah, that is happening. Of course, they can buy stuff, your essential food items and stuff like that from those lorries and courier way that they have already organized. There are a lot of organizations came forward to this task force, and they volunteered that they will undertake this job and they will deliver to whatever the homes. And also not only that, there are certain catering restaurants. They have, especially not in suburbs but in the townships, you know, lots of people in like towns, they won't cook even in the night, in the evenings they buy from this fast food center they take. So those type of organizations have come forward. They have been given the authority of delivering meals to the residences. So these all systems are right now in place. As of today, there may be a little bit of shortcomings here and there, but we believe that this will be overcome within the next 3-4 days, and we should be all right.
All right, several questions to us. Thank you very much. Keep sending them in. I'll just read a few of them. One of them says here, first of all, my salute to the chief. God blessings to be with everybody who's doing a wonderful job. So thank you, Commander. You have the, I'm sure you have the thanks to the people right round there. Do foreigners have to pay for quarantine charges? Thank you, Tony Lim.
No, not at all. We are a great country. We would have seen that how certain channels abroad praise the way that we have been doing. Not that the guys who have come to Sri Lanka and then gone back. None of them had to pay a cent for these things. It is been sponsored by the government, and that is to ensure that not a single person, I mean, people will not get affected on this. You see, government policy is to ensure that spreading is stopped. But you have to, what we have seen is the people came from abroad, brought this was an island without anything. Corona was not in this country. That was actually brought to this country by the people who traveled here, either our people or the foreigners who came. You know, the first case was a tour guide. The tour guide got affected through Italian group who visited Sri Lanka. 2 groups. So the first tour guide got like that. So therefore, that is how it spread. But of course, directly to answer your question, no charges will be charged for these quarantine centers.
Thank you. And many people saying thank you to the Army Commander for the excellent manner in which the Tri-Forces are looking after Sri Lankans and our guests from overseas. Thank you. Just while I'm on that subject, to remind all of us that Sri Lanka is actually features very high on the global giving index. Sri Lanka has a habit of looking after its guests extremely well, and you know, we're known for our smiling faces and all that business. So it comes as no surprise, but it's wonderful that this is going on. Now then, somebody say, shall we go for break? No, let's wait. Now then, some questions that have coming through and I want you to ask because there is some sort of concern. One is this bit about why is it that only some couple of villages, I've forgotten names now, but 2 villages were completely shut down? Why was that?
Yeah, of course. 2 villages are Atalugama and that is in Kalutara, Bandaragam area,
Yeah.
and the next is Akurana town in Kandy district.
Yeah.
Why? Yes, you would have seen a few days back when suddenly Jaffna Peninsula,
Yeah.
all 5 districts
Yeah.
were kept on a bit of a quarantine.
Yeah.
Entire 5 districts had to go on a quarantine.
Yeah.
That is because at that time you knew, you would have known that a pastor came to Sri Lanka and he had a sermon in Jaffna, and he left. While he was going back, he got corona infected, and thereafter we saw that after 2 days, not after 2 days, exactly after 1 day, one of the Sri Lankans who are from Jaffna, who had gone to meet this pastor in a room, got confirmed with coronavirus. So just one person, just because of one person in Jaffna town, Peninsula, entire Jaffna Peninsula 5 district, we actually basically went for a quarantine in Jaffna. But the beauty of it is that because timely we went for this action to quarantine the entire peninsula, not a single spread from that person. There were 17 direct contacts with this person, with the pastor. All these 17 were taken by the Sri Lanka Army and established another quarantine center in Jaffna for 17 people. In the meantime, the action we took with the health department and the police, we basically requested the population to be self-quarantine. Okay, so entire peninsula. But after 4 days, when the curfew lifted in the northern peninsula, Jaffna people, they requested not to lift curfew, Jaffna to continue. That was their request. Okay, that is to ensure, to prevent that the spreading will not take place in Jaffna. Thereby, we have been able to curtail for that only one person from northern peninsula from 5 districts. Because of that action.
Well, that's pretty good in terms of numbers.
Yes. So therefore, when we found a person, especially in this Atalugama, there are a lot of people in that village. We found that over about this 20 numbers who had direct contacts with a person who got confirmed corona, confirmed from Atalugama. So we got them and put them onto a quarantine center. Plus the balance, the village, we had to quarantine on a cell for houses. We had to put a cordon sort of a thing or roadblocks to ensure that no exit or entry to that particular village.
Nobody could come.
Yes. The same thing was done to Akurana, where we found once again a person.
It must have been a bit bigger than the other place.
Yeah, of course. But the problem was, we found that their houses are very close by. And this person, when we found, at the time we found that he had gone to many houses. He had had a lot of contacts. So we can't take all of them and quarantine. Entire Akurana cannot be taken to another place, quarantine.
So it's better to keep them in Akurana.
In Akurana, in their houses, we have advised them to be inside houses and to get self-quarantine. That is the reason. Some people were trying to say, why only one, but it is the reason. Same example as of Jaffna, and also you would have seen Colombo, Kalutara, Gampa district were also done the same thing.
Indeed.
You see, so it is not any special reason. As you asked, I knew what you are going to ask. What is between the lines, I understood. But the fact remains that no special reason, other than the special reason was to ensure that no spreading.
On Newsline, we say it the way we see it. And therefore, in between the lines is a claim that some community was being sidelined. But actually, am I correct, Commander, in saying that this COVID-19 has no borders? It has no political borders, it has no communal borders, it has no religious borders, it has no borders.
Yes. At the government, the President, the Prime Minister and the government will have to, what they are trying to do is to prevent spread.
Indeed.
Okay. We who are working on this on lower level, our task had been to ensure that this will not spread.
Right.
So every action that we take is nothing but, as you said, no ethnicities, no religion or anything like that.
Right.
What we see as the best practices we'll try to put in place.
Indeed.
We will see if the houses are in a little apart from each other, of course it's a different story. But when houses are very close to each other, when numbers in a house, you'd have seen yesterday the example, day before one person got confirmed from corona, and within next 24 hours, 5 of them in the house got corona confirmed, including a child at the age of like 4 months.
4 months.
So this is how every action is taken. Some people who are waiting to see something will pick up things like that without much knowledge. But the people of this nation will understand there is no borders, as we just mentioned. Corona will not have by ethnicities or for religions or anything. So therefore we, those who are in the machinery, in the system, the President take decisions on these things with the Prime Minister and the government. Only intention is to ensure that this spread is minimized.
Indeed. Commander, as you noticed, the tea has arrived. May I pour you a cup of tea?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right. So now, in the meantime, what I'm going to ask you is another little question. Thank you. Just sugar there. I don't know if you want any, but here you go. This is the next question. Thanks to the people at AF Jones, we've got our tea. Now then, another contentious question. Now that we are on contentious questions, the Indian returnees, the pilgrims. What happened there? Why were they not quarantined?
Yeah, you would have seen that actually one day, in fact, I who mentioned that at the task force meeting, his Honorable Prime Minister made a request to His Excellency the President that there are up to about 800 to 900 Sri Lankans who had gone on pilgrimage to India, had got stranded there without being able to come back, without medicine, things like that. So Prime Minister requested from President that there should be some system to get them down back to Sri Lanka. So on that request, President agreed, and when we made an announcement on that evening after this meeting, we said that there will be some arrangements by the government of Sri Lanka to get down the pilgrims who have gone to India, and however, whoever who have gone when the government is bringing them back on a method that the government has organized, they will be quarantined. So that was informed. But I think some took only one part of this statement and said that they will be quarantined. But it was decided on that particular night from midnight. You see, when you suddenly, we have never said that now onwards we are going to quarantine, things like that.
Them a time.
We gave a space for even like Italy, Korea and Iran. When we mentioned that we are going to quarantine, we gave 48 hours or 72 hours before. We told that these countries, whoever come, will be quarantined. Like that, we said we are going to do that from midnight onward. Whoever come, especially those who are going to be brought back by the government, will be quarantined. Even the pilgrims will be quarantined. After this was informed, within about 1 hour, there was a flight came to Sri Lanka with about 200-300 passengers, and they were never informed. We have not taken action to quarantine them at that time. The decision was from midnight, and especially those who are being brought by the government in an organized manner. So these people were not in that category. In that case, one could ask why 10th, why we did not take 9th, those who we had all the addresses, then in that case we would have gone to homes and got these people who came to Italy, people from Korea on the 9th and we quarantined them. Okay, we didn't do that. Once a date and the time is given, from that time onwards it will be executed. So that is how it was done. So one individual wanted to make a fuss on this and said, why these pilgrims, the Buddhist pilgrims who came from there? No, we have not informed by that time. Although we made an announcement, those organized by the government who are stranded there will be brought and they will be quarantined. That was the decision. The following day, from after midnight, whoever who came was quarantined. These people were not in that category, like on the 9th who came from Italy. That is how it went.
Good. I don't want to dwell too much on this, except that I want to say this bit. In actual fact, you've got your committee, along with the Tri-Forces and the police and the intelligence and so on, you all have actually been able to track and you know the whereabouts of about 27,000 people who are, including suspected cases and people who are in self-quarantine. Is that right?
Totally. You are totally spot on. You see that now we were planning a strategy as to how this will prevent the spread. You see. So therefore we had to get the support of the intelligence services, the military, the police and the health sector. The MOH and the PHIs are well aware of these towns, whoever in those villages. So we got all this mechanism together, working together, and we were tracking everyone who came from, the government one day announced that everyone who came from 1st of March to 15th of March to get registered. So initially people did not want to, but later it went, the numbers went up. So what you just mentioned, as of yesterday evening, it was 27,800 we are tracking. Okay, so these guys includes those who came from abroad, and later we told 3 days back, anyone who came from India, with cases coming from Chennai and India getting more, the government announced that anyone who have come from India to registered immediately. That's all now 3 days back. So we have this 7,800 numbers we find from people who came from abroad, and also we have the numbers, those who had contacts with this confirmed cases.
And it's also important to let the public know, whilst you're having your cup of tea, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, it's also very important for the public to understand that with the 27,000 plus people who are suspected and so on of having the cases and who are self-quarantined, each of these group of people are broken down into police areas, and then there is a senior police officer who is in charge of each of those divisions. So the control is actually there. The police in the area and everybody connected with this problem are completely aware of the movements of all these people. So that's right? Each police area is aware of where these people are and so on.
Police, the MOH, the PHI, our intelligence and army, or the Navy or the Air Force, all are aware. So we are monitoring whether they are inside the houses, but by the people out of this 27,800, those who came to Sri Lanka on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th are now of course not in that category, although we are monitoring. Okay, that days are past for where we got affected. Okay, so like that is there, but that is the way that we have actually prevented the spreading. We had total control. You asked the very first question about, are you happy?
Are you happy?
Are we happy? We are happy because we have a system. We had done with a strategy. So therefore the strategy had done very well. That is why. But the spreading, one might even now think, then how come that people get here and there? Even yesterday. The solid case yesterday. The guy who who died as the second
in Negombo.
He came only day before evening to a private hospital and went to the government hospital yesterday afternoon only. Till then, no one knew. I wonder whether he knew he had symptoms. I'm sure that he would have had symptoms for a few days. But
he gave misinformation.
Yeah, he had gone to another private, I don't want to mention the name of the particular medical pharmacy or medical place. He had gone for a few days there and taken medicine from there. We have all found all these things. So he had gone and taken...
By doing that, he has placed a lot of people at risk.
That is exactly what I'm trying to say. So he had gone, but he did not come to the government hospital. Those numbers you said, 122 or whatever that we have.
That's right.
On the very first few days, when they felt that they are not well, they went to a hospital, government hospital. So they were like found that they may get this. They were isolated there. Then it was confirmed and they were treated. That is how you found that 14 have gone out of the place. Okay. This is the reason that a guy who had not come to a government hospital, where within next 24 hours he had to leave. You see, he had to pay the penalty by his life. You see.
Indeed.
So as you mentioned, out of this 27,800 what we were talking, there are cases like this who had not come forward, who had not taken medicine, who had not gone to a doctor, trying to be by themselves. So this is the danger. We have individuals of this nation within the population. One such person, now we are already monitoring this person contacts, number of, we will know within the course of the day how many contacts he had. And I'm sure that whoever who had contacts, there's a huge vulnerability for them to get infected, this corona. So therefore, there's a massive, those who had got contacts with these people should immediately be on self-quarantine and house quarantine. Why this self-quarantine? One might think, what is self and house? Within the house you find many people are inside. People must give some attention to the elderly people. You know that worldwide the threat is to some age group and beyond. You see, if you have your parents, elderly parents and the kids, you have to be careful. And also with your other members who are in this age group between below the 50, even still, if you feel that you are not well, you have to be in your own room or keep the social distance like what we are keeping here. You see, between you and I am keeping a social physical distance.
You can look at that now, you see. Physical distance. We've kept, it's actually 2 meters because this is 1 and he's got 1, so it's 2. Alright, so because I know people spot that and they do ask her. Several messages from the public. Thank you very much. I'm going to read this one which is representative of the people who are watching. It says here, first my salute to the chief. God bless with everyone who are supporting us. I'm over 60 years. I want money to buy products delivered to my home. How do I go to the ATM? Only I can drive the vehicle at home. Also, what if I had no vehicle? What is the solution for such a scenario?
Yeah, it's a question. Maybe not only for you. Thank you for asking this. And I'm sure that a lot of people are listening to this. Yes. As of today, when the curfew is lifted, the way is that he'll have to go to the ATM and get money. Okay. This is how it is as of now. So he'll have to go by himself. There is no way that the banks can come to your home and give money like that. ATMs cannot be brought to the houses. So that is the only method that one could do. So,
but you have to talk nicely with the police on the street then.
Yeah, of course. If such a person, one individual, I'm sure there'll be a flexibility. People will try to, because...
But it is entirely at the discretion of that police officer at that moment?
No, it's not. Yeah, of course it's like that. But I'm sure the IGP already has instructed, I mean, to see case by case, you see. But only thing, when we say a blanket approval like that, you find that everybody...
Yes, now everybody don't rush off out there to the streets now, okay?
We have to have a bit of a discipline, and all is done to prevent the people get infected with corona.
Right.
So one person who might go like that, I am sure that he says he's 60 years old.
Yeah.
I am sure that the police will have the flexibility. But by this statement, if everybody was trying to get into the road, unfortunately he will not be allowed to go.
Yes. So there is a bit of flexibility there. So the hide and seek must stop. If people have been exposed, if they feel they have, the best thing to do is to call the hotlines or to call go and present yourself before to get yourself checked out, right? No hide and seek.
No, you should not do that. You
Right.
see, that is the most important thing. Don't try to hide, because corona is such a dangerous virus.
Yeah.
And everybody now see, you start at the beginning, you told the numbers.
Indeed.
And it is the duty that you are doing to the nation.
Indeed.
You have to get protected. Definitely corona will not come inside your house unless you go for shopping for corona. So you go out, do corona shopping and bring back. Corona is the only way.
And as somebody said on the program, there is no bargaining with this thing. There is only one bargain, and that's a graveyard.
Of course. So one must know that when you are going out on the day that your curfew is lifted or any other matter, like we are going for essential services, the medical professionals have already told as to how you can get prevented the virus coming into your body. So you must practice all that. That is the most important thing.
Right.
Even if you go out, keep this physical distance is important. I must think, I don't know, I've been going all around. You have brought me to this program. How do you know that I'm clear? No, I don't know. So until such time one gets some symptoms, you will not know. So therefore, it's always, one must understand, one must think that yes, I may be having this. Therefore, I should keep a distance.
Right.
I should keep a distance. If I am going out of the house, keep a distance to ensure that I will not spread. In case I have, I will not spread to a person.
Right.
The people in the country, like during the wartime in the country, we were very suspicious about a person or a suicide bomber. The way we were looking at a person, unknown person, different types of people, we were looking at them, thinking that don't know whether he's a suicide bomber.
Indeed.
Like that, one must always think, don't know whether this guy had got virus infected. So therefore, I must keep my distance. Okay. So like that type of practice will have to be continued within the society.
It's absolutely wonderful, Commander, that it's absolutely wonderful that your intelligence is absolutely working, because you've got, like you said, 27,000 right from the beginning. Many of them have now expired the period and so on. But the fact that you're able to have your intelligence working it's great that you've been able to use some military sort of experiences to bring this under control. And out of these 27,000, how many did you miss, do you think?
No, 27,800 are under control.
Right.
There may be few misses like yesterday.
Right.
Okay. That is actually missing is how do we know?
Right.
Then in that case we must go and check who all those who have cough, cold, everything.
Yeah.
That which is mostly unpractical.
Yeah.
So not practical at all. So therefore it is a person who hide himself or who is scared to go, or a guy who come from abroad who is still not telling. But we have details. That is why we say the Indian, even those who came from India, we asked 2-3 days back to get registered. We have the details. We request whoever have come from abroad who have not got registered, still time, especially think of today to last 14 days. Okay, those who have come to Sri Lanka should get registered. Those who have symptoms must straight away go, not to spread all hospitals. There are designated hospital in each township. So must go to that hospital. Now like Homagama, the government health department, Mrs. Pavitra Vanyarach and her team has established a hospital in Homagama only for this. So they can go to Homagama hospital rather going to all hospitals.
Right.
So like that, at the moment, with the instruction of His Excellency the President, we are now doing a hospital in Iranavila for people north of Colombo. So Iranavila hospital should be in operation within next 72 hours, within 3 days maximum. Yesterday also HE spoke to me and told that within quickest time that we should put this. Swami, round the clock we are working, entire night we are working yesterday, entire day we will work today, and we will try to put this within next 48 hours.
All in the service of the people.
Yes, of course, that is the reason. For the, especially for the people who are in Putlam, Chilav and that area, they should, all the way they should not come down. This is what we are thinking, give the best facility to the people. The government is very concerned to give the best facility and to protect the people of our nation. That is why suddenly we are putting up a hospital in Iranavila. So these are the things that one can understand as to what amount of effort the government and the missionary is taking to make sure that the people of this nation is protected. So that is why the people should be disciplined while taking all this action by the government, health department, health sector, the services, military, everybody. When they are doing, is the duty of these people of this nation to see that you adhere to the instructions, advices given by the health sector.
Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, I can't thank you enough for having been on the program, but I want to end off by telling you, I want to read this message. I've got several messages like this, and this particular one, I'll read it out. Please tell the commander that although 1 or 2 persons may think irrationally, the whole nation is with him and his team. Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, thank you very much indeed for being on the program, and Newsfirst is always ready to help, to spread the message of safety and in anything that you all are doing to help Sri Lanka, because after all, this is one nation, one country. Thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline Live. Take care, and thank you for all your questions. And remember, stay safe, stay distanced, and God bless.
Thank you.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz, Shauketaly.